Okay, so the last two videos have been on completing the square, the introduction, and the intermediate. These next two videos we're going to get into actually solving with them. But just to help you remember, we're going to try to get this into the form of like that, and then we're going to figure out what constant we need to add to both sides so that we can make this into a perfect square. And that perfect square is going to look like b over 2, because you'll remember if we've got our x squared sitting here, it has an area of x squared, and each side is x. This side is x and this side is x. And then we're going to take excuse me, I sneezed. We're going to take half of the x's, put them over here, and half of the x's and put them over here. So we have a total of b x's. We'll put b over 2 x's over here, and we're going to put b over 2 x's over here, and then we got to figure out how much this is, and this is going to end up being b over 2 times b over 2, or b over 2 squared, little ones here. So our c is going to be b over 2 squared. Okay, so let's get started solving by completing the square. Okay, so our first problem looks like 12x is equal to 13 minus x squared. And remember, we want to get it into the x squared plus bx equals d form. So I'm going to add x squared to both sides. I'm going to end up with x squared plus 12x is equal to 13. And just here, I need to take these 12x's, and I need to put half on this side and half on this side. So that's 6 over here and 6 over here. And how many units am I going to have? I'm going to have 6 squared, or 36. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. And so that is going to equal to 49. And this side is going to be x plus b over 2, which is x plus 6 squared. And now when I want to solve that, let me go ahead and fill in this first part of the question first. So we want everything to look like x plus c squared equals d. I'm using b, but so we'll have that x plus 6 quantity squared is equal to 49. So that's the first part of our question. And the second we're going to have to solve. So how are we going to solve? We're going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, and square root of x plus 6 quantity squared is x plus 6. Actually positive or negative, but we also have a positive negative over here. So we don't have to do both. And 49 can either be is positive or negative 7. So if I subtract 6 from both sides, I get x is equal to negative 6 plus or minus 7. And that is our answer right here. Okay, let's look at our second question. Keep this over here. Sorry for the gray. I keep saying I'm going to figure that out, but I never really. So here's the equation. We want to rewrite the equation in that same form, and then we're going to solve it. So our equation is x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 2x. So I'm going to subtract the 2x over here. I'm going to subtract the 2x on both sides and subtract 4 on both sides. So I'm going to end up with x squared minus 6x. That's negative 4x minus 2x. 2x minus 2x is 0 on this side. And I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to end up with that. Now I have to figure out what this c value over here is going to be. And I have a minus 6. So we've got x squared, and we've got minus 3x over here and minus 3x over here. So we're going to have 9. How do we know that? We know that because b over 2 is equal to negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3, and b over 2 squared is equal to 9. If I added 9 on this side, I have to add 9 on this side too. So here we go. X squared, I want to put this into a squared form now, minus 3 squared is equal to 5. And I'm going to solve by taking the square root of both sides, and I'm going to end up with x minus 3 is equal to positive or negative square root of 5. And then we're going to add 3 to both sides, and we'll have x is equal to 3 plus or minus square root of 5. I normally like to separate these out into 2 equations, but they don't have it in that. Negative 3 plus or minus square root of 5. Oh, and I forgot to write this one. X minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 5. And, right? Don't want to make typos on con sometimes. Yeah, what do I do? Oh, added 3. See? Didn't check. Okay. 3 plus or minus square root of 5. I said I make little typos on con all the time, right? And then what do you have to do? You have to go back and do them again. More questions. Con is cruel that way sometimes, but it makes you not make mistakes. So you need to rewrite this equation and solve, just like we did before. And it's good. 2x squared minus 20x equals x squared minus 19. I'm going to subtract x squared from both sides so I can get it in the form I want. So I have x squared minus 20x is equal to negative 19. Okay. And we're going to take half of those negative 20 x's and put them over here, another half over here. And how many are we going to have? Let's see, so b over 2 is equal to negative 20 over 2 is equal to 10. b over 2 squared is equal to 100. I'm going to add 100 to both sides. I'm going to end up with 81 here, and then this is going to be x minus 10 squared, because I put half over here and half over here, half of those negative 20s. Excuse me. All right, so that's the form that they want up here. X minus 10 quantity squared is equal to 81. So that's the first part of that question. Second, we have to solve. So we're going to take the square root of both sides, and we're going to end up with x minus 10 is equal to positive or negative 9. Squared is 81, positive 9 squared is 81. And I'm going to add 10 to both sides. So x is equal to 10 plus or minus 9. Is right over here. Let's check that. Didn't make that mistake again. That's good. Bad when I make mistakes on. You know, one time I watched a professor at the MIT make a mistake on the board. That made me feel a lot better. All right, so our last one here. We're going to do the equation X squared, I'm going to turn this around, plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. And we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. Get x squared plus x equal to -1. I want to figure out what the values over here. B is 4, so b over 2 is 2, and b over 2 squared is equal to 2 squared is 4. So 4. Add 4 on both sides here. It's going to be 3, and this is going to be constant here is going to be 2. Why is that? Because we took those 4 x's, we put 2 of them on this side and 2 of them on this side. X plus 2 times x plus 2. So here's our first part of this is x plus 2 quantity squared is equal to 3. And then we're going to solve that. We're going to take square root of both sides, and we'll end up with x plus 2. It should look really familiar. We'll keep doing the same thing in the same steps over and over. Whoa, almost made a mistake. Square root of 3. Square root of 3. Okay. So -2 plus or minus square root of 3. Add, that's okay. So that's generally how we do that. Question number 2, solve correctly, and then click the wrong button over here. Always check your work. I'm going to have to go back and do 4 more problems. Make sure that I get that perfect score on Khan Academy. Because right now it's telling me I got 3 out of 4 correct, and that is not enough on Khan Academy. All right, so next one we're going to be finishing off our section on completing the square in the next